The CoinDesk Spotlight is brought to you by Nexo, the place to earn on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more.
Anchorage became the first federally chartered crypto bank under the Trump administration when then crypto-friendly regulator Brian Brooks headed the Office of the Comptroller of Currency. As U.S. regulators and a Democrat-controlled Congress scrutinize the crypto industry, how will the future of regulation take shape? Earlier, I asked Anchorage CEO Nathan McCauley for his thoughts on the matter, and we begin with how his crypto bank operates in the space. Have a listen.
Sure, yeah. We're a digital asset platform for institutional investors and institutional allocators. Anybody looking to invest in crypto assets or build a business in crypto, whether that's a fund, whether that's an offering for retail clients, whatever the case may be, we are here to provide infrastructure and custodial trading and lending services to anybody looking to participate in the digital asset
And
space.
what's exciting is you're one of the first kind of crypto native companies to get a federally chartered bank charter.
Yeah, first actually. We were lucky enough late last year and early this year to be granted a federal charter by the OCC.
Yeah.
So we operate as a national bank.
And that was when the OCC Comptroller of the Currency was Brian Brooks. So I wonder if you're seeing any differences now between how regulators are that you're talking to potentially versus, the ones that were there during the Trump administration.
Yeah, I think the biggest trend there is that the previous administration was really interested in specifically pushing things forward, maybe looking a little bit at doing a bit of trailblazing in a few areas. And so we see our bank charter as kind of a trailblazing thing. And I see the new administration coming in and looking at how do we make sure that this is safe, how do we make sure that we do consumer protection, and then even if you look at things with, say, the infrastructure bill, how do we really kind of get this to a institutionalized level within the country? Funding infrastructure initiatives, doing those kinds of things. So it seems positive.
Yeah, we have SEC Chair Gary Gensler, who everyone thought would be very crypto friendly, but he has Coinbase in his crosshairs. Brian Armstrong went on a tweet storm, pretty upset about the way the SEC was handling things in his new crypto lending project. They're going to investigate Uniswap. I wonder how you see this regulatory crackdown, if you will, or this investigation or this exploration by regulators will pan out.
Yeah, I think the crypto industry at large has been very interested in looking for regulatory clarity, whether it's clarity about securities laws, clarity about qualified custody, clarity about trading. And so I see a lot of the stuff going on at the SEC, a lot of these investigations as things will be very clarifying. And after that clarification process, I believe is going to be fundamentally bullish for the space because we're going to have a much clearer understanding of what we can and can't do, what needs to happen within the confines of various regulated entities, and it'll be more clear in terms of where in the world to build these services.
Speaking of bullish trends, so you have some insights in how institutions are entering the crypto space. Tell me a bit about what you're seeing.
Sure. So we're seeing a huge amount of interest from all kinds of participants on the Wall Street side, whether it's the buy side or the sell side. Large institutional banks looking to come in, looking to provide offerings, and very large traditional hedge funds looking to come in and start to allocate. Additionally, seeing large asset managers want to come in. So just kind of across the board, everybody looking to come in. One of the more interesting trends we've seen recently is corporates. I can't necessarily say who, but we've seen a number of corporates come in.
What size of corporates?
Billion dollar companies. Several billion dollar companies coming in and wanting to borrow against their crypto positions. So they hold the crypto positions at Anchorage. Maybe it's the Bitcoin, maybe it's the Ethereum, and they get loans on that, either from our lending program or from traditional banks where the crypto is held as collateral.
That's really interesting to me because are these corporations that are known to be talking about crypto a lot, or is it more on the down low?
More on the down low. They're not. These are not the ones that are kind of publicly out there saying, "Hey, we have crypto positions." They're just using it as a way to diversify their treasury, keep it to themselves. Don't need to necessarily make a big fuss about it, but significant positions and a great trend. Especially exciting is the trend moving past just Bitcoin. People looking to come into Ethereum and looking at other assets as well and looking at how they can make allocations in that space.
So they're holding crypto in their treasury reserves.
That's right.
Wow. And what is the benefit of putting collateral up in crypto versus going the traditional finance route through the banks?
Well, you get access to a asset that I think many of these treasuries think is an appreciating asset that will increase in value over time. But then you can borrow against it, so you still have working capital. You can still run your business, pay your bills, pay your employees, whatever the case may be, but hold a appreciating asset over time. And I think they're really excited about that.
Anchorage has also been in the news because of Department of Justice contract. There have been a lot of ransomware attacks in the news lately, and so this figures largely in the government. And so I wonder tell me a bit about the contract and how that's going on with your relations with government agencies.
I think it's part of the overall trend of crypto coming into the light, in a sense. More and more institutional and regulated adoption of it, and so naturally part of that is sure, some of it may be used for criminal activities. We have a justice system here in the U.S. That will do asset forfeitures of assets that were held by criminals. And so then the Department of Justice needs a custody system, and it needs a liquidation system to be able to take those assets, sell them, and return the U.S. dollar equivalent of them back into their ability to do that. And so we have a contract with the Department of Justice, the U.S. Marshals Service, where we are going to be that custodian and responsible for auctioning off any of those assets when needed. And so we're going to be serving that that way, and we're really excited about doing that. One of the things that's been really nice about that is it's set the stage for a whole host of other conversations with other federal government agencies as well, who may have similar needs there. So we're looking forward to continuing to serve the government sector.
You touched on this a little bit, but corporations are interested in going beyond Bitcoin into potentially Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies. What kind of trends do you see there? And I understand you have a couple of funds along the way.
Yeah. So one of the nice funds that was launched over the last year was the Bitwise DeFi fund. The Bitwise DeFi Index, they came and held it with us, particularly because we're a full service custodian, not just custody, trading, and lending, but also the ability to participate in DeFi protocols, whether that be staking, governance, voting, these kinds of things. And so those kind of multi-asset funds that really have a more interesting strategy than just kind of buy and hold spot Bitcoin. A lot of them are coming to us and looking at ways to do that. And then there are a lot of institutional investors that come in either via those funds or directly with us to say, hey, I want to hold some of these DeFi assets, hold some of these new layer ones, like Solana is getting very popular these days. You heard Anthony talking earlier about Algorand. So we're seeing a lot of demand for these kinds of tokens, these kinds of assets, and these kinds of overall strategies.
And finally, the last point I wanted to touch upon was in 2017, in 2016, we saw a huge run up in the crypto markets and then a crash, and then we saw the regulators coming in, put a freeze on ICOs, initial coin offerings. Are we seeing that again? We saw again a huge trajectory skyrocketing crypto market. Now the regulators seem to be talking about crypto again. Where do you see this? How do you see this panning out?
Right now, crypto to me seems far more diversified than it was in 2016, 2017. If you look at kind of what was driving 2017, a lot of it was exactly as you said, the ICO boom. What we now see is that we have DeFi protocols taking off. We have NFTs. We have this whole movement around DAOs. We have additional layer ones that are providing better theses for a world computer. And so as you start to look at kind of the diversity of everything that's going on, I think that the clarity of the regulation is going to come in, plus the diversity of everything that's going on in crypto is going to be fundamentally very bullish for the whole space. Okay. And I think it'll be quite the opposite of what happened in 2017. It'll look to be more bullish into the rest of this year and into early next.
I guess the last one is, how is Anchorage going to expand, and what are you focused on amid this environment?
Yeah, continuing to make our services available via APIs. Any banks, any fintechs that want to come in we're very interested in serving them and being their sub-custodian and helping them out with that. And then more broadly, I would say we've been a bit U.S. focused. We do have international clients, but look to us to do international expansion over the next year.